The Railway to Kakia, 9211. By
Part-time Tales.
Noah jumped up as if a tarantula was crawling over his foot, spinning around. Cara let out a scream that echoed across the platform. In front of them stood an Indian man who could only be described as wearing red. His clothing seemed to be a mashup of some ceremonial robes mixed with a modern suit. His face was smooth and youthful, yet his eyes seemed full and ancient. The stature was tall with a calm demeanor and a blood-red turban set upon his head. The two of them stared intently at this man, visibly unnerved, both trying to catch their breath. Noah didn't know how to react. Fight or flight, which usually was fight with him, simply wasn't kicking in with this man. A few seconds passed before the man in red spoke, attempting to lightly break the silence. "I believe you two were looking for me." His statement, like his gaze, seemed to both ask a question and make a statement simultaneously. Noah looked at Cara, unsure what to say. Taking a deep gulp, he lightly stepped forward and said, "Yes, we are looking for the man in red." The three of them stared at each other, eeriness and confusion the only words that could describe this moment. Frustration then visibly covered the man's face as he angrily smirked and began to turn and walk away. The two of them looked at each other in confusion, knowing this was clearly the man they were supposed to meet for directions. Noah, still confused about if he should punch the guy in the face or throw his girlfriend over his shoulder and start running out of there, stood still waiting for some indication of action. Cara took full notice of this, looked at the man, and then back at Noah. She reached into his pocket, grabbed the piece of paper containing the instructions, and lightly started running after the man in red. "Wait," she said, catching up to him. He calmly turned around with his fingers nestled to his lips, leaving his palms exposed in the middle. "Yes, my dear," he stated with genuine curiosity. Cara lightly bit her lip, unfolding the instructions. "If he accepts your offer," she read aloud. She looked up at the man's dark eyes and realized he was genuinely curious about her. She took another dry swallow from nervousness and thought to herself, "Screw it, we've gone this far. Are we supposed to offer you something?" she asked softly. The man in red's gaze moved from her to Noah and then back to her. He smiled. "That depends on what you want." She looked back at Noah, who lightly nodded at her without breaking eye contact with the man. Cara turned back, deciding to fully go for it. She smiled and tried to embrace a bit of charm. "I'm sorry you startled us earlier. We're new to the area," she said as she looked down at herself and back up to him. "I mean, obviously." Noah stepped forward, hoping to help the conversation move forward. "Yes, we're tourists making interesting videos about Mumbai," he said, reluctant to reveal their true purpose. Cara chimed in, "Yes, we heard there was an interesting tunnel of sorts around here. A tunnel that you might know how to get to." The man in red moved his eyes from Cara to Noah and back to Cara as a smile came over his face. "I see," he proclaimed softly. "Tourists exploring." Cara nodded her head, indicating both nervousness and excitement. The man in red turned toward the tracks as the train began to disembark. Noah then took note that the station was completely empty. All of the passengers must have gotten on. The man in red motioned across the tracks as the train moved out of sight. 5 lanes of tracks went into 5 tunnels on the right. To the left was the city where the tracks geared off in all different directions. A devilish grin came across his face as he turned back toward them, placing his hands behind his back.